Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your friendly neighborhood realtor, Rodney BE, here. I have the honor and privilege to not only be able to serve the community that I live in and love, but I also have the opportunity and privilege to work with such a great organization called Promise Neighborhoods of the Lehigh Valley. I've been, engaged in this work for a while, but I call Promise Neighborhoods my home.
That's right.
My real home. So like I said, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to get right into it. But without further ado, I want to make sure that everybody knows that this month is Black Small Business Month. So if you have a Black small business and you want your name featured or your product featured on this podcast, please let us know. Right now, we'll be doing that free of charge. Eventually, you will be paying, but this month will be free of charge to get your products displayed here. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce two of my favorite people in the community.
In the community of the whole wide world.
In the world. So I'm going to introduce two of my favorite people in the community, in the world right here. Also, you'll have space to comment, like, share. So I encourage everybody to like and share this video. So like our page, Promise Neighborhoods of the Lehigh Valley, like us on Instagram. Make sure that you guys press that share button so that the community can engage in this conversation as well. I really appreciate you guys in doing that. Without further ado, I'm going to make sure that I introduce two of my favorite people in the entire world.
Hey,
we got the gracious, the lovely Miss Jeannie. Miss Jeannie is passionate. I've known her for several years, and every time I walk into a space with her, I get excited. So I welcome
we
Jeannie.
Call her Mama Jeannie.
Mama Jeannie,
because the way she cares for and nurtures the community.
Yes. That's it. That part. Then I'm going to also introduce one of the most influential leaders in our community. He's loved and he's hated by some, but we'll get into that today. I'd like to introduce Dr. Hassan Batts into the space.
Who hates me, man?
Oh, man. Hate's a strong word, right? It's a strong word, right?
The most loved, man. It's all about love. That's what we represent, bro.
We lead with love.
We lead, thank you.
We lead with love.
That's that part.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm going to give everybody space right now to make sure that they like and they share this video. Our comments are open. So when you do want to comment, it will be in the space provided, and we'll be able to, talk to you guys in real time.
That's right.
Let's get right into it. So one of the first questions that I ask when engaging in this work is your why. What's your big why? Why did you get into this work? Is there a story connected to that? Like, why are you doing this work? I'll start with you, Jeannie.
My why, I'm a solution-based individual. I've always had to figure things out. I don't like talking about problems without talking about the solutions. Mm-hmm. I am a walk my talk type of person. So that's my why. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed and a lot of things that need adjustments here in our community. But if we're just talking about it and not doing anything about it, then we need to take a seat in the back. Mm-hmm. Take a seat in the back and allow us that are solution-based individuals go ahead and step up to the table. And I think that's what we've done and we continue to do and we will always do. We'll always lead by solutions and we'll lead by strength. We're strength-based.
Mm-hmm.
We need like some applause and stuff, like some sound.
We'll get the sound. We'll get the pew, 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 pew.
There you go. She said take a seat in the back, and Fab said it takes time to get from the back seat to the passenger.
Yeah.
You can't just skip up to the passenger seat. You got to put in the work, the 10,000 hours, baby.
Yes.
We got time in this, man.
That's a fact.
So
I'm going to jump right into it. What's your big why, Doc?
My why is that I had to figure a lot of things out on my own, made a lot of mistakes, was misguided. And when I began to see my life progress and change is when I had strong mentors, strong coaches, and strong sponsors. And I realized had I had that support when I was younger, right? Like, we're not talking about my mother. My mother loved and adored me. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about in the streets. Our old heads misguided us. So my why is that I don't want to see people bump their head the way that I did. I don't want to see people hurt themselves, make the mistakes that I made. So I've decided to step into this arena and into this work and into this community in a way where we can provide a blueprint and we can open doors and we can provide access and love and support to people that want to get back to their community, because together we're the ones that are going to change it. So that's the first why. The why Allentown is because this is the community that I've harmed. You know, people try to weaponize my past and use it against me, but I've been very honest. I've been shot in Allentown. I shot people in Allentown. I've done harm in Allentown. I've been arrested in Allentown. And all of that is out there. And I'm here to say and to show and demonstrate to people that you can make a change. That what happened 2 decades ago, you know, people are trying to say, oh, well, 30 years ago, this guy did this. I can't deny that. My why is I want to make amends for the harm that I've done and the people that I've misled. I want the people to see who I am today and that everybody can know that saw me doing the wrong thing, that you can change. One guy said to me, man, he said, if Allah can change your life, anyone can change, because he knew who I used to be. He said, if Allah could change you, anyone can change. That's my why. We want people to know that we got options to be better people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I think that's important to dig into your why and really know, you know, I think the why is what leads our work, right?
That's
I
right.
know that this is not an easy job, you know, or easy passion or easy purpose or calling. This becomes very draining, but it's powerful how you two have impacted the community and created that change.
Can I just say something real quick? Because I think of why not, right? I think of Jeannie. Jeannie had a six-figure job running an entire office that she left to be here. Because the question for her is why not? Like,
Why not? It's an opportunity that most people don't get in a lifetime, to be able to do something you're so passionate about. You know, and at my age, it was like now or never. I'm already doing the work. I've been a credible messenger way before there was the credible messenger was the popular name title to have. I've always been a credible messenger. I've always led in my community, and I've always encouraged in my community. And so why not? Why not right now? Now is the opportunity. It's here. Do it and do it with the people that I love and that I've trust.
And why not Jeannie?
And why not?
Yeah.
You know, we often say, man, I could have been the president of Nabisco or something. But why I got to do that? Why I can't be here with my people, man?
That's
creating
right.
ways for us. This is our community. And when we work together, we will change things.
Right.
So why not us? Why do we have to allow other people to lead and make decisions in our community when we are the ones that are closest to the pain? We're the ones that are bleeding in these streets. We're the ones that are in relationship with the people that are suffering. And we know what it's like to come through and survive. So why not us?
Yeah.
And why do we get such criticism when we do step up? That's why our people are afraid to lead. That goes back to what's in your DNA. You got to understand, some people are the descendants of house Negroes, and some people are the descendants of field Negroes. My people were Maroons. My people were the ones that fought back, that revolted, that escaped, that weren't going for that. So that's what's in my blood, man. Why not us?
And my blood, I'm born on the battlefield, baby. Vietnam, I am a war baby. My mother carried me on her back and pulled my sister through the rice fields, leeches attached to her body to escape war. Okay, real live war, missiles, bombs, Agent Orange. That's how I come up. That's in my DNA. So I'm always going to be a fighter. And I don't want to be criticized for being a fighter because I'm always fighting for the right things. Other people. I fight for rights, human rights, basic human rights. I don't want to be criticized for that.
Right. So I think what do you think? Why is there this criticism? Because I feel like everybody has a purpose and everybody has a calling. Everybody wants to help people. We just have different ways of doing it, right? But why? And then even in that space that we all have different ways of doing it, we're still helping people at the end of the day, right? Why is there this sense of criticism?
I mean, we talked about this yesterday in the lunch and learn, right? Neely Fuller says, if you don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think you understand will only seem to confuse you. The reason you get this criticism is because people have been conditioned and trained to hate themselves and anyone that looks like them. Same reason you have murder. It's a form of murder to slander somebody, to assassinate their character, to spill ill will and bad energy on them. And that's why you have that criticism. When they see somebody of color or they see somebody from their own community moving forward, they want to destroy it because they hate themselves and they don't believe that they're capable of it. So what we try to breed and support is like this idea of love, this idea of support, this idea of teamwork, of a tribe, of, you know, us coming together. And that's what we try to push forward, that when Jeannie wins, I win.
That's right. It's not a competition. I feel like others in the community feel like this work is a competition. We're all in the same race, baby. We're in the race to thrive and survive in the community that we live in. This is not a race to the top. Competition wise, this is all of us. This is the crab in the barrel over and over and over again. We stay in our lane. I do not practice anything here at Promise Neighborhoods outside of my scope.
That's right.
I enjoy working with others. I will collab with others. I will do warm handoffs. I do referrals. I don't necessarily have to speak to you on a personal level, but if I respect your organization and the work that you're doing, and I know that you lead with love and ethics, I will always work with you. That is huge for me. And this work, I've had to learn that boundaries are very important, just like any other relationship, work relationships, personal relationships, friendships, financial relationships, business relationships. There must be boundaries. And I live by ethics and integrity.
I've known Jeannie for a minute, man. She's very ethical. And if you, I mean, my thing is, if you got a problem with Jeannie, typically it's going to be something about you. Because she's principled. You know what I mean? And there are certain principles that we want to live and govern our lives, man. Children are dying in our community. We have spilled blood in this community, man, and we got to work together to change it. There are children graduating high school illiterate, that they can't read. And I'm not going to fight with somebody that's trying to make a change, man. I want to support you in any way that I can. And that's what I'm known for, you know? I'm known for helping people to come up, to opening doors, to creating ways. We say lifting as we climb. Any room you put me in, I'm going to bring my people in there, man. Like, how can you hate that?
And so you're saying lifting as we climb and pulling each other out of it. And then you mentioned the crab in the barrel. And there's that space in there that gets confusing, right? Like why do some leaders want to pull people up and other leaders are essentially wanting to pull each other down? Like and then for me, it's just like, when we're living in this space that we're trying to lead, we're trying to grow, we're trying to create the change, and having to battle against those forces that are stopping us from being able to do that, whether that be like the institutional stuff, obviously there's the racism, but also then having our brothers and sisters that are claiming they're in the same fight, so that's holding us down. So like, is there anything you can speak to or mention about on that?
I mean, we one of the principles that I live by is know the condition of the people, right? And know the condition of the people and treat them accordingly. So they're not doing anything that we don't expect them to do. They're not doing anything that they haven't been doing for generations. We just talked about that, right? When Nat Turner was looking to escape the plantation, when he was looking to revolt, there's always going to be a house Negro whispering in Master's ear or saying something negative about Nat Turner. Look at Cujo and them over there about to go get it. Look at Cuffy and them about to revolt. Look at Nat and them about to revolt. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody that tries to stop the resistance and stop the revolution because they're comfortable the way that things are. And again, they have this hatred of themselves. So it's not, I've learned that the way people treat you and the way people talk about you, it says more about them than it says about them. You can look through all of my speeches. You can look through all of the books that we've written, all of the articles we've written, all throughout my social media. You're not going to see me naming names. I'm a community organizer, right? There are principles that I live by. I'm not going to attack someone's character. I'm not going to talk about you. We're going to talk about issues. I'm going to talk about what are the issues, how oppression exists, right? I mean, so when people start attacking you and putting your name on Front Street in public, those are personal vendettas and things that, you know, you got to start to look at what the source of that is, man. And people have to look inside. And the other part that I'll add to it is when people do begin to beat each other down, it's because they don't understand the laws of the universe and the laws of attraction. That all that negativity and that gray, dark energy and smoke that you put out there is what's ruining your life. It's oftentimes people that are unhappy, that are miserable, that have difficult lives and families, and they have to accept responsibility. That's right. For the role that they're playing. I'm going to promote love because I want love. I want a happy family. I want happy coworkers. I want a happy existence. I want prosperity. I want brilliance to come to me. I want clarity in my life. I want to wake up. When you see pure suffering, you got to pause and say, how have I contributed to this?
There's a level of respect that is gone in the community. A level of respect is huge. We don't Dr. Batts, and I'll speak on him and I right now. We don't always agree on everything, but we have a level of respect for each other that will not go past the agreement. We're not going to slander each other in the street or talk about each other with other people. We will always be transparent with each other and come to some sort of conclusion or compromise. And we do that well within Promise Neighborhood. And that's something that keeps us stronger than a lot of other individuals. We don't go to social media and bash each other. We don't go to social media and bash others as well. And that's something new. Then the new gangster is really that keyboard. That keyboard.
Twitter fingers.
Twitter fingers. You know, anybody out there that wants to have a direct conversation with me has my number. Have a direct conversation with me. And I take it real personal when you slander an organization that I work for and an organization that I personally know has done a lot of great things in this community. Whether you agree with the way things are being done or not, you cannot lie and say that this organization has not done a lot of great things and that Dr. Batts has not opened up the doors for many people and invited them in the room.
So, I mean, and then there's that space, right? So then there's the wrongdoing, whether I'm not, no matter what side it's on. And then there's that space where we have to have an open conversation. Like why isn't that conversation happening? And then we'll start. I'll leave it there.
Because it takes courage. It takes courage for Jeannie to walk into my office and say, Dr. Batts, I disagree with you. For Jeannie to call me and say, you were wrong with that decision that you made. That takes courage. You know what I mean? It takes courage, it takes authenticity, and it takes confidence. You know, for us to have, I mean, like Jeannie said, we disagree. We disagree, but you best believe we're going to put a united front out into the world, right? And she's not going to let me hurt someone or hurt myself, and I'm not going to let her hurt someone or hurt herself. So people have to begin to be courageous. People have to begin to be centered in love and principles and values that speak to community, that bring us together. So when there's difficulty, we come together. When there's tension, we come together. When there's disagreement, we come together. And that's what you see. As soon as I see someone do or say something, I pick up the phone and call them. Jeannie did it just 2 days ago. Somebody posted something, she picked up the phone and called them. Hey, what's going on? Because we want to remind you of who you are. There are going to be moments that you act out of character. There's going to be moments I act out of character. And that's why we need each other. So you pick up the phone and you call and you say, hey, Doc, man, you know, that conversation I saw you having earlier, that's not you. I know you to be loving. I know you to be supportive. You know, I see people that I love deeply and care about deeply on social media, angry and embarrassing themselves and harming their brand. And these are my people.
And we're in a fishbowl. Let's face it. We're in a fishbowl. We are constantly being observed. We're in a microscope 24/7. Not just us. Trust me. You're in a microscope too out there. You're in a fishbowl too. So in order to protect your brand and yourself, it is better for you to have the courage to pick up the phone and let's have a courageous conversation. Okay, because at the end of the day, we are all in that race together, that race to thrive, okay, and be well and do well. And we're being looked at. I'm growing. I'm a student always. I'm learning. And it took a lot for me not to respond to some certain things that I saw on Facebook because I knew it was not going to be beneficial towards the work that I'm currently doing. It was not going to, it did not align with the work that I was currently doing. Why respond?
It could actually harm people and take lives, right?
Yeah.
Like this stuff is violence and it gets really violent when people are talking about this person needs to be slapped and we're going to do this and this guy did this to me 20 years ago and we're always going to, I'm going to kill him. Like we're here to help people, man. We're here to change our community. We're here to make a difference. And we don't have time to get caught up in bickering and beef. There are no ops amongst healers and helpers. There are no ops, bro. Like there are no ops. This is about who are the people that want to work together to do good, to help children learn to read at 3rd grade, to help children not have absences, to help sons off the street, to help people come home from prison and make a better way. And we do that through modeling. We can't, no matter how many degrees or credentials or titles that you have, you can't teach these things without modeling and living them because people are watching your behavior.
You know, and that's true. But I also want to add boundaries. There are boundaries. And I said it earlier when I spoke. I I wanted to help everybody, right? When I first started really getting active in my community, I wanted to help everybody with everything. And it just didn't work out that way. I was getting tired. People were overstepping. I was answering my phone at 11 o'clock at night. Boundaries. I had to place them. And that's real for me. And that's just because two different organizations are doing the same work. If they're doing it in different ways and it just does not align with our vision and what we're doing, I personally do not have to work with you to get the work done out there in the community. Because I choose not to work with you does not mean that the work is not getting done.
Right. So I've been in a space before where like, you know, so obviously I'm a realtor. Got to put the plug in there. But obviously I'm a realtor, right? So I'm in a space where like a lot of people are wanting to be realtors. So a lot of folks, and honestly, when I first started it, my first instinct would be like, no, I don't need them getting their license. But then I'm like, there's so much that's coming from a scarcity mindset, right?
Right.
But this world is filled with abundance, right? Even in the midst of this next wave of quote unquote recessions, they're still predicting that 5.1 million houses will still be sold within the next year. 5.1 million.
Right.
I know how many billions or trillions of dollars that's involved in those transactions right there. And for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna sell 50 next year, and I'm like, okay. That's enough. They can't have that, right? So there's a space of like having the scarcity mindset, but the world is filled with abundance. And then also like, I think one of the biggest takeaways that I wanted for us to dive into today was the code of ethics, right? Like there's ways that we should be conducting ourselves, whether we agree or we disagree. So if we can name like 3 points. But before I name those 3 points, I want to make sure that I give a huge shout out to one of our biggest sponsors, Lassiter Enterprises, who does shoveling, who does snow removal. He does landscaping. He's a construction worker. So if anything you need to do with your house, your yard, your driveway, make sure you get it with Kalfani Lassiter, Positive Kyle, one of the great leaders in our community.
Did he pay for that commercial?
He paid for that commercial.
Did he? Because you just came out of nowhere with that one. Shout out to Positive Kyle.
Shout out to Positive Kyle.
He's an example of someone that has struggles, right? We all have these struggles. You spoke about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you take a step back, man, and we gotta love people back to who they really are, man. And that's why he has the name Positive Kyle, because he knows he can get caught up in the drama. He knows you can start taking shots at people. But it usually takes a phone call, just a look.
A text message.
A text message.
And he's like, you know it, right? I'm gonna chill. You know what I mean? It's easy.
We all there, man. We're all on a journey, man. There's no big eyes and little U's.
So we're all bruised, right? We have different shades. Don't I always say that? We're not broken. Right. We're not broken individuals. We're all bruised. Your shades of healing may be darker than mine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Maybe you're still really bruised where you're tender to the touch. Mm-hmm. You're triggered easy.
Right.
Anything, you still feel that pain. Mine might be in a phase where I can bump it and it don't hurt so much, you know? So we're all bruised in this community, in this work. Leaders as well. And we're human, right? So we may say things and we may do things that are a little distasteful and like, shouldn't have did that, you know? Sometimes that character seeps in, you know, it comes through because we are relatable. Mm-hmm.
That's relatable. Right. Grassroots.
Because we're grassroots.
A lot of us come from.
We come from this, right? So we're grassroots. So we're not perfect, you know, and but we're working on it, and that's what matters. We're working on it, and we're trying to do better, and we're trying to model better, and we're trying to be examples.
Just because we're in the boardroom doesn't mean we're of the boardroom.
Facts.
You know, so I tell people all the time, I didn't fall out of heaven. I came up from hell. Mm-hmm. Like I'm from the bottom. I muscled my way up to this. So all that hatred and animosity, they've been hating us since we were born. I was born into a world that hated me. Jeannie just said she was climbing through the rice fields with your moms.
Yes.
So that negative energy and that hatred, she knows what it's like. And she's trying to create a new generation, man.
I'm trying to heal.
Trying to heal.
I'm healing. I'm in the process of healing from many things. You know, trying to heal.
In the midst of trying to heal others, which is...
But you got to do the self work first.
Yeah, I mean, the internal revolution, that's
internal revolution.
I mean, when I began organizing, it was talking about the internal revolution. You can't expect to change the world if you're not willing to change certain aspects of yourself and look at things through a different lens. And that was one of the first, I guess, awakenings that I had in this work. It was like some things about Rodney BE. I know everybody loves and adores me, you know, but there's some things about Rodney BE that just ain't just ain't great, you know, and there's things that I have to continually work on daily.
Yeah.
But you just hit something, right? What else is missing? You said when I first started organizing, right? We talked about the internal revolution. There was a pathway to this work. You and I went, where we go? Upstate New York together, Jersey, California, studying as community organizers, right? So there's a pathway. There are curriculums, there are models, there's mentorship, there's coaches that you've gone through. Where we say, like, name your people. You can say, oh, I studied under this person. You say, Baba Onaje has given me this. He's guidance to me. He supports me. People want to skip that phase and go, not be teacher and just not be student and just be teacher on stage.
You cannot jump into the mentor role without first being the mentee.
Absolutely.
Okay. And there are times while you're the mentor, a lot of times while you're in the mentor role, where you got to pause and go back and talk to your people and be the mentee again and get the advice and have the conversation. I need, like, was I wrong for thinking like that? Did I do that right? Did I handle that the right way? You got to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that takes humility.
We do that in the moment. I just said something to somebody earlier, and I had to say, nah, I didn't mean to disrespect when I said that. And then I'll leave and I'll say, Jeannie, was that disrespectful?
That's right.
We check in with each other.
We check in.
Especially when you're talking about the female energy, right? That Mama Jeannie brings. Like, we got to be able to respect women of color, respect Black leadership. Like, if you can't do that, man, then you're lost. You're just a puppet to white supremacy.
And the white supremacy is the dollar. Everybody's gunning for this money. Violence prevention is huge. Let's go there for a minute. Right now, everybody's talking about public safety and violence prevention. Okay, you can't make a flyer because you see a grant opportunity in this community and make a flyer and say you do violence prevention. There is a lot of work that goes into this. Like, this is heavy duty work.
You have no theory of change. You don't know what a logic model is. You don't know how to do any reporting. Like, these are the things that we have to support one another with so that we can be truly competitive. And I say that and people say, oh, he's trying to patronize and disrespect me. Not at all. There are many things that I don't know. I call you constantly. You probably woke up this morning, 5 o'clock this morning, to questions. What did I say? Yo, can you help me with it? I mean, seriously, right?
Yeah.
Can you help me with this? Because I don't understand that.
And Dr. Baz, I'm thinking, right, I know all about violence prevention because I've been directly affected by losing a child. Then getting into this work and putting myself in this role, I know nothing. I know nothing about violence prevention. I have to really go to the very beginning and start at the root and the core and just go through everything and be a student and learn. This is, lives are at hand.
Lives are at hand.
Lives are at hand. Lives are at hand right now.
You can't freestyle this thing.
Okay? You cannot freestyle this thing. And you have to have the humility and the mindset to say, I want to be taught. I want to learn.
So my dad always, me and him had a deep conversation. We were in Florida one time, and he was like, there's 3 types of people that you need in your life. You need folks that are mentoring you, that are like feeding you, like pouring into your cup.
Yeah.
There are people that you need, and that's number 1, right? And then number 2, you need people standing next to you, right? That are like likewise, like-minded, that can walk this walk with you. Yeah. And then the third piece is that person that you're going to be bringing up.
That's right.
Like that's your mentee. But the first piece of that is having your mentor, right?
I would say plural.
Mentors.
Yeah,
you've probably met 3 or 4 of my mentors. I have multiple. Every business endeavor or decision that I make, I have a mentor in that area. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need a mentor for everything that multiple mentors for everything that you're going to engage in. I can't just turn around and say, hey, I'm going to be a clinical therapist and not have a mentor.
Right.
That is my clinical
and
therapist.
And you share your mentors. You've shared your mentors with us. So we have access to the amazing Dr. Onaje Muid. Like, he's amazing, Baba J. You've shared that. And then we, in our life, in our journey, and in this journey, we find our own mentors as well.
Right. That's right.
I have my mentors. I have the elders that I care about. I heard another thing, bashing elders, and they aren't our elders on social media. That's sad. Everything. I'm here today. Everything about me here today, I give to my ancestors. And the mentors that I look up to and the people that have guided me, sometimes the good and the bad, because I've taken the struggles and survival from them and I mixed it with the mentors that gave me the love and led me with that here and just blend it together. And it's who I am. It's my character.
I think that's a really like an American way of thinking, though.
Isn't it?
it's like where, I know that I come from a great people. I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors.
Yeah.
So there's certain ways that I carry myself today that I know that, listen, I know that if my great grandfather didn't go through that struggle of slavery, that I wouldn't be here today, right? If my grandfather, not even far off, my grandfather didn't leave South Carolina while the KKK was trying to lynch him, I wouldn't be here today. So me knowing those struggles, how could I not pay respect and homage to the elders or people that are above me? I think I gained great knowledge. Great knowledge from my elders. So that really throws me off. And even if we bump heads, because not bump heads necessarily, but we have a disagreement because some things are just like a generational thing. Right. That's going to happen. But when that stuff happens, right, we have to have a conversation about it. So I want to dive into the code of ethics, right? What are 3 things that we can take away from this that our community needs to start practicing in order for us all to work, not necessarily in together, just to be able to effectively make the change in our communities that we need to make? Because for me, one of the coldest images that I've seen during the protest that we had here recently for George Floyd was when I was talking at the mic. And I was going off, right? And I'm not going off in a negative way, but I was really passionate, right? And there was an image of this kid from this window just watching me. And that to me was, and that really shined the light, like, hey, I have kids, but there's other people in the community that we don't see that we are impacting heavily, right? This is what they see in leadership. And if we don't hold that responsibility dear and true to our hearts, then we're not really creating the change that we claim that we're making. So what are 3 things that we need to do?
So I want to respond to that, Rodney, by saying you're talking about a people that are centered in their principles and values and relationships, right? There are people that I think are intentionally being sent as tools of destruction. Mm-hmm. I think they're oftentimes being financed to destroy what we're doing. So they're not going to have the same values that we have. I don't think this stuff, sometimes it's just emotions, right? Other times it's that people need to survive and they're being paid by historically white institutions. They're being paid by different parties and stuff to disrupt our community. They're agents. It happened with the Black Panthers. It happened with the Young Lords. It happened during the revolutions of the enslaved. So let's be real, right? That people are here to disrupt. I mean, you see that with COINTELPRO. That still occurs. What I will say is the people that are amongst the ideas of healing, wellness, and liberation that want to see things better, some of the codes we can stand by. One is to do no harm, right? And I'm saying intentionally do no harm. This is something that I apply in my personal life. I'm going to hurt my wife. I'm never going to intentionally hurt my wife. So that's a principle that I think we should all consider agreeing upon. Intentionally do no harm. Me not picking up the phone to hurt Rodney. Me not walking over to you to hurt you. And there's been times that I've done things to harm you. And what do? Hey, Doc, what did you mean by that? What was that about? Because this is how I felt, right? So the second one is to have feedback loops, clear lines of communication, because that's going to, when the harm does occur, that's going to be the way that we resolve it. It's times that I've done things that you disagree with.
Yes.
That would have been huge had we not communicated.
That's right.
You know? So one is do no harm. I'm never going to intentionally try to harm you or Jeannie or anyone in my community. 2 is to communicate, have feedback loops and open lines of communication. And 3, I would say is to come from a place of honesty. Like when you start lying on people, lying on their names, lying, losing your word, like that's centered in fear. You know, that you got to lie. It's like, that's a character flaw. So we got to make a commitment to get that stuff out of us, you know? And the other thing I'll add is that I think people need to look at the 42 laws of Ma'at, M-A-A-T. The 42 laws of Ma'at will give them some direction on ways in which the elders and ancestors have guided their lives.
Yeah, I think leading with honesty is one for me. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth,
man. That's a mother for you, right?
Tell the truth.
Keep it simple.
Tell the truth. You know, and that kind of goes with accountability. You know, tell the truth if you messed up. You know, be accountable for it. Right your wrongs. there is always a segue or a path to redemption, right?
That's right.
There's always,
Right.
come on, we're here. We're living it.
Yeah, the door's
We're
open.
here. The door is open.
These same people walk through the door, we show them love.
We show them love.
They get on social media.
Yeah, and if I do wrong, call me. Talk to me. Allow me to hold myself accountable. If you don't contact me directly, you haven't given me the opportunity to hold myself accountable. So then how could you bash me? You haven't given me that opportunity to hold myself accountable. Don't bash me. Talk to me. Don't bash others. Talk to people. Have direct conversations. Those would be mine all together. And mirroring what Dr. Bat said, and lead with love. If you love your community and this is passionate and you're real and what you're saying comes from here, then lead with love. Always.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other one I would add is be consistent. Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy.
Don't be in pictures smiling, hugged up with the folks that's locking your kids up and killing your kids and taking and not funding the schools adequately. You smiling with them, but you hate Dr. Bats. And this is the dude that's out there with you.
That's
be
real.
consistent. If you nasty, be nasty across the board.
Right.
And I'm not asking people to be nasty, but I'm saying that's not a good look. When people see you, you sitting there holding up signs supporting people that's killing your community, but then at the same time, you're hating the people in orange shirts that are saying, the shirt is in gun violence. Why would you not want to wear this shirt?
Yeah, they call us the oranges. What do they call us?
The shirt is in gun violence.
And what do they call us? The orange? The people that wear the
It don't
orange
say
shirts?
Dr. Bass on it.
Listen.
It says end gun violence. They wear this shirt all across this country right now.
Right.
All across this country. But you don't want to wear it. Not even though you not want to wear it, you want us to take it off. You want to slander it. No, don't end gun violence. They're bad people. Whoa, what's your real agenda? Where's the camera at?
Yeah.
What's your real agenda?
What's your real agenda?
What's your real agenda?
So colon cancer, right, has blue. Heart disease has red, right? Certain different things. Gun violence, orange is the color. That's why we chose orange. It represents, ending gun violence. It talks about the disease in the community.
That's what we're about, man.
And that's what we're
but
talking
some people
about.
have a disease in their heart.
That they talk about the color of our shirts.
I would say,
insane.
ask them, what has this man ever done to you? Let's have the real conversation.
Oof.
Somebody tell you, I don't mess with so-and-so. Okay, tell me exactly what they've done to you.
But Doc, there's no throwaway people. That's what they're going to say. What does that mean? What does that mean? When people take your words and flip it around for their agenda, then obviously you never listened. You never sat in the same room. You never paid attention. You know what I mean? You should have put the phone down. You should have took the headphones out to really pay attention what that means. There's no throwaway people. I want somebody to type in on the comments what that means, just to make sure that we're getting the message straight out there. Because it doesn't mean that we have to continue to deal with your behaviors. That's what that means.
Or allow you to hurt.
Or allow you to hurt other people.
I refuse to stand by and allow people to hurt each other. I said do no harm. So Rodney, I love you, bro. You my brother.
That's right.
But if you in here harming people, then you got to take a break.
Pause.
That's not throwing you away. That's pause. That's we talked about it at lunch yesterday. We got to slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Rodney, you got to take a moment.
Stabilize.
The door is still open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But even if our relationship changes, right? Even if and here's the thing, you gotta. I mean, a lot of people are upset about Positive Kyle's post, right? What Positive Kyle's post said was, I lost my job, I lost my phone, and I still showed up every day.
That's right.
That's very telling.
And I didn't bash. The organization because I lost my job and because I lost my phone.
If you don't get a paycheck and then you hate me and you don't come back, we got to ask ourselves, what was our relationship? Did we really have a relationship?
Yeah, or even deeper, what was the why? Why were you here? Why were you doing
Was it transactional?
Anyway,
was it transactional? Was it transformation?
Because you used to work here, right? And then you stopped working here. We still talked every day.
Yeah.
You still showed up every day. You still came to Peace Walks. You still helped if we needed your support when a kid needed some mentoring. You still showed up without a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because our relationship is not transactional. It doesn't depend on whether we work together or not.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, and it wasn't even about, at the end of the day, it's about creating a change that we need that needs to happen in the community, right?
That's right.
So,
and it's not tied to a paycheck.
it's not time.
So, and it's not tied to ego, right?
And then the ego thing.
So it's about how do we come together Not you doing it over here, you doing it over there. Like how do we support each other and come together if we're all upon the straight path, man, the same path?
Yeah.
And how do we respect each other if we're not going to come together?
Yeah.
If you're going to do your work over there, we're going to do our work over here. If that's how it got to be, then how do we do that without all of this dumb, Facebook gangster stuff and bashing people? Like, that's crazy to me.
For me,
how old are
I
we?
want to say to clear the record straight, I love you, I believe in you, and I'm here. My phone still rings. I will take your calls. I meet with you in the street. You guys love me. Then on Facebook, I don't know what happens, man. Things change, right? But I'm still that guy. I love you, right? And to the people that I've harmed inadvertently, like, let's talk, because I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right, that's it.
And I'm big enough to apologize. If I've done something to harm you, I'm big enough to apologize, man. But I don't wake up wanting to hurt people. I wake up wanting to love people. I wake up wanting to see the children in our community have things better than we have them, have opportunities to lead, to love, to be safe, to live. And that doesn't happen saying bad things on Twitter and Facebook and stuff.
Yeah. So that's a great place to almost end it. I mean, if you guys have some closing thoughts, I appreciate you guys being in this space with us today and really having these conversations, right? This is not over. We're going to be having conversations week to week. So if you want to be a featured guest on here, if there, even for this space, because sometimes conflicts happen publicly. One of the greatest things, one of the greatest things that I've heard somebody say, and there's a lot of things a lot of people say, so there's a lot of tidbits that I'm taking, but right now, Tyrone Russell.
Shout out to Faces International. Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Faces International.
Yeah, that was supporting our local businesses. Shout out to Faces.
Did they pay for that commercial, man?
They didn't. I'm just plugging people.
So we're just plugging people. Okay, keep going then. Shout out to Miss Mary, man.
Shout out to Miss Mary.
Shout out to Miss Mary. I stand on the shoulders of the elders, man. Right? Like when I came home from prison, all these people that love me wouldn't even let me in their building. Like that's real. They wouldn't let me volunteer. Wouldn't even let me walk in their building. Miss Mary let me in her building, man. She showed me love. She learned I had skills. She put me in friends. They told me I work with kids. And Miss Mary made a way, man. And those are the things that I remember. And I want to make a way for people because I'm here today because of all of the people that took a chance on me and that helped me. So if you know me, you know I'm constantly taking chances and helping people because I wouldn't be here if others didn't do that to me. So shout out to Miss Mary, man. She doesn't get the love and the respect. Like she deserves a lifetime achievement award, man.
Yes,
I meet people every day, kids that's like, yeah, I came with Miss Mary.
Yeah,
Shout out to Nice Jones, to Doc.
Yeah.
Yes.
This dude loves Miss Mary, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. What's his name? What's his government name?
I don't want to give his government name.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get.
Oh, he don't use
nice.
the government name?
This guy.
He's a professor. Shout out to Nice
Shout out to Nice.
But what Tyrone Russell said,
you just gave Tyrone's government name, man.
Because his name, and listen, man.
Yeah.
But what he said, and it really resonated with me, is that your apologies should be as loud as your actions. So if you wrong somebody, then your apology should be just as loud, right?
Yes.
So if we're on Facebook bashing each other, we're doing this. So if we're yelling, we're screaming, then our apology should be that yelling and screaming, should be those Facebook, Twitter fingers, or whatever you want to call them. It should be that loud. So I want to have this space that if there are conflicts and you want resolutions and we want to, have the conversation that we really need to have to overcome those differences, let's make it as loud as you did on Facebook or through text.
That takes like some real courage and integrity, man. Shout out to anybody that takes him up on that invitation.
For real.
Space is open for that because we need to, as leaders, people are watching this, kids are watching this, and we really need to set examples on how leadership should be and how.
And if I've ever harmed you, even if it was 30 years ago, I invite you to get a public apology, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't hide from the decisions that I made. I know that I hurt people. I invite you to have a public apology, man.
That part. So we challenge. That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge on how we're going to begin to heal the interpersonal stuff that's inflicting our community, that's impacting our community, man. I love that, Rodney.
Yeah, that's it.
Come, join us. Let's have this conversation and make. What did you say? Make your apology louder than the offense.
Yeah, make your apology as loud as the offense or the action.
That's right.
So, and then also naming that this is a safe space. So,
yes,
but this is a safe space. There's not going to be any type of violence in here.
No.
Absolutely.
You ain't never gonna get no violence from Promise Neighborhoods.
No, never. And if
Never.
there has to be somebody in the mediator, which is, somebody that can help facilitate the conversation in a productive manner, then we'll also bring that individual in. So there's a third party outside of the two folks having that conversation.
That's what we do, man.
So that's it, that part. So in closing thoughts.
I mean, thank you, Rodney, for bringing us on and having this conversation and getting this started. Somebody got to start it.
Every week, every Friday, we're gonna hop on. So just pay attention, follow Promise Neighborhoods, Instagram, and on Facebook. And every week we're gonna have these conversations. And we'll take some information back from the comments that we got. And this is every week. Every
week. And I invite you to join the movement. Everyone do something to help gun violence.
That's right.
Even if it's just sharing the post, even if it's just liking the post, even if it's just after this conversation, picking up the phone and calling someone that you're angry with, that's angry with you, and just telling them you love them, man. And utilizing social media as a tool for social activism, right? Ooh. A tool for healing. That's what social media is, man. Yes. And this is not just me talking. You can go through my feed, you can go through my thread, and you're gonna see me putting out healing messages. So that's how I want to end this. Social media is a tool for revolution, a tool for social activism, and a tool for healing and wellness. Let's not use it to corrupt and destroy our community and pollute all the good that people are doing, man.
That's right.
That's great. So
thank you, Rodney.
No problem. Appreciate y'all being in here. And once again, this is Promise Neighborhoods of the Lehigh Valley. This is zero youth violence and gun violence.
Gun violence. We even expanded. They don't even know that. We'll talk about that next time. It's not even Promise Neighborhoods of the Lehigh Valley anymore because we're the whole Northeast Pennsylvania.
That's right.
You're giving too much.
We're giving too much.
We're gonna give them more reasons to.
We got a huge expansion going on right now.
So we'll introduce that next week. So
yes.
Make sure you tune in next week. Big shout outs to all the business owners. So if you have a business, you have a product that wants to be showcased this month for Black Small Business Month, make sure that you be in contact with us. We'll make sure you make your stuff.
Shout out to Happy Sandwich, man.
Happy Sandwich. Oh, yeah.
What you know about that? We know about the Trinity.
What do you know about that?
Shout out to Happy Sandwich, man. Miss Carol. Shout out to Winston's.
That is.
Shout out to Dennison. My favorite DJ, man.
There we go.
Cohesion.
Everybody.
Cohesion Network, Darian Cole.
Cohesion.
Love. Nothing but love, man.
Nothing but love.
Shout out to big Good Money Bullies.
Everybody deserves your rights. Make sure you follow Mike, Big Mike. But yeah, I mean, in closing, I appreciate y'all. Every Friday, tune in. And if you guys got topics, make sure this is an open door.
They say he hires his friends. Like, I'm supposed to not hire my friends, man.
Exactly.
This guy's great, man.
That's what they do.
That's Hubert Harrison's great grandson, man.
Hey.
You know who Hubert Harrison is?
Yeah, exactly. The real credible messenger.
The original.
The original credible messenger.
This is Marcus Garvey's teacher, man. Like, look.
Really?
Use that phone for something positive, all right? I want you to look up Hubert Harrison, man.
There we go.
Until next time. Do some research.
We were supposed to close 5 minutes ago, and they just... We out.